everybody, Dr. Neckel here with eSleep Wellness, and happy almost Valentine's Day. And I thought this week what we could do is talk about some stuff that we would normally do if you were working with a sleep specialist or a sleep coach. And you know, up to this point, we've talked a lot about various things that can affect your ability to sleep and trying to troubleshoot potential issues that you may have. But what do you do to try to correct it, especially if you're not having any luck identifying potential triggers or influencers on your sleep, like it's not something you're eating or drinking, or even if it is, what do you really do about it besides trying to fix those things? Maybe you're already in that sort of like bad cycle where it's really hard to get out of insomnia once you're in a chronic vicious cycle. So one of the things that I do with my private clients is have them complete a sleep diary. So this is something that you would probably do if you sign up to work with a sleep expert, a sleep specialist, a sleep coach, is they will have you fill out a sleep diary. So even if you aren't working with someone, you can still do this on your own, and it will shed a lot of light in your sleeping patterns. So I often have clients that are surprised by the results of their sleep diary just by focusing on it and paying attention to their sleep. So I have here, so this is one of them that I have, but usually this one's in color, and that's sometimes hard to fill out or use. So I have just like a plain one here, and I thought I would just show you what's all sort of involved. And across the top is the days of the week. And depending on whichever day you start, like I have it, the calendar starting on Monday, but maybe you're not actually starting this on Monday. I mean, it's totally up to you. You're doing this on your own. Even then, when I start with my clients, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're meeting on a Monday or they're starting their sleep diary on a Monday. So you would just fill it out starting from whatever. So if you're going to start like on Thursday, then you would fill it out through the rest of the week and then start over and catch it from the front. Now, depending on how many weeks you want to keep track of this, like for me, it's very important that the client or patient is writing the date, because there ends up being a lot of these and it can get confusing, especially among multiple clients. So what you can do is you can do the same thing. It's easy to just write down the date. That's up to you. So what's on here? So number one is, what time did you go to bed? So now, one thing to note about this is make it an estimate. Like, I'm not expecting you to have to, watch the clock in order to have an exact time, or on your own. That actually could become more of a problem than how you started out. So the point is never to make the diary create anxiety or something that hinders your sleep anymore. It's supposed to be a tool to help you gather data. And so you estimate or approximate anything that you're going to fill out on the calendar or on the diary. And then the second thing you do is, what time did you turn out the lights to go to sleep? So that's the second one you're going to answer. And then the next one is, roughly, how long did it take you to fall asleep? Again, this is not where I want you to be watching the clock and creating anxiety over how long it's taking you. And you may say, well, I'm not entirely sure how long it took me to sleep. And that's fine. What you can do is just estimate it. And we have the natural ability to have some ballpark of time based off of life experiences and things that we know during the day. So if you and I were going to meet and I'm running late, if I'm 10 minutes late, you would know that compared to if I'm running an hour late. So you just estimate how long that's going to take you. So was it 20 minutes? Was it an hour and a half? Like, you would know the difference between those. And then the next one is, how many times did you wake up during the night? So here, this can be a little tricky because a lot of times we wake up during the middle of the night and we don't remember it. So these are just ones that you remember, and, try to, don't focus on it where it's like, where it is, you have a brief awakening and you would be able to fall asleep if you didn't, think about the fact that this is the third time I've woken up or something. So again, don't let the data, trying to collect the data, impede your actual sleep. Okay. So you just sleep like normal and then wake up in the morning and be like, how many times do I think I woke up? Next one is about how long were you awake during the night? So the total time that you spent awake. That's the bigger paragraph one there. Again, approximations. Next one, what about your final wake up time in the morning? Next one, what time did you get out of bed? Next one, about how many hours of sleep did you get last night? And then the last one is if you take any sleep meds, make a note of, what sleep aid you took and what dose you took, because maybe you don't take it every night and you want to keep track of the nights that you did take a sleep aid and how did that impact your sleep versus if you didn't. And then if you're working with someone, they would probably try to get you to taper off of those. But the idea is if you're going to do this on your own, you can identify trends. It's very much like if you're trying to lose weight and you start a food diary and you suddenly realize how many times you actually snack or that you drink more soda in a week than you thought you did, that we actually discover things that we do simply by paying attention to it. So the sleep diary is very similar to that. So, and a lot of times this in and of itself, before I even get into sleep scheduling and tactics to try to improve my patient's sleep, one of the first things that we do is the sleep diary. And before we've even had any content or discussion of what we should do differently, they often identify things in and of themselves and realize some things that they could do better, or realize that some things are not as bad as they thought they were once they document their trends. So, if you're not working with someone, you can totally do this on your own and see those patterns as well, and then trying to address those patterns. So that's what today is just really introducing you to something called a sleep diary. And here's the other one. I'll see if I can try to add a link so that you can actually download one. If not, there are plenty. You can get it on esleepwellness.com. And I'm sure there are plenty on the internet that, you can find whichever one suits your interests or your needs. And then we'll talk more this week about some actual tactics and how we can leverage information from the sleep diary to try to benefit your sleep. Okay, that's the tip for today, and I'll talk to you next time.